How you doing, Aries? I'll go ahead and get right into it. See what I got for you. It's weird, I feel like. Clean, clear, and fun messages. That was weird. First row is for Aries. Second row is for the other person or persons. Third row is situation. Okay, 5 each for Aries. Whoa. Aries people that are around. 5 cards for the people that's concerning Aries. People dealing with Aries, the situation, messages. Other person dealing with Aries, card. Messages of Aries. People with Aries. Situation. So, first card out is death. Now, death and transformation. A huge ending that's going about, a huge change in your life, a huge transformation. With this death, an ending and transformation, you're kind of manifesting something into being. He's putting all of the ingredients of the ritual together and about to do a spell, using all the elements of the earth to do it. Everything that he has at his disposal. I guess more of earth, but you know. So there's a death to an old self, an old way of being, and you're manifesting something new. The way you're achieving this is that you're cutting out things that no longer serve you. People, places, and things that no longer serve you. You're quite defensive, but you're quite logical, and you're no longer dealing with anything that's not going to benefit you anymore. And maybe in the past you weren't very you didn't really assess the situations before. You weren't as clear or logical into maybe the people that you have in your life, or a certain ways of being, certain bad habits, as in or not helpful habits that had you kind of ended up using for defense mechanisms wise. And it's kind of like you're learning how to cut those bad habits out. And it can be anything. It can be like negative thinking, toxic people, just in general. But you're kind of standing in your strength. You're being logical about the situation, and you're cutting out things that don't serve you. And you're kind of thinking with your higher mind. You could have an Aquarius in your chart, and Scorpio or Virgo. 8 of Swords. At the moment, you kind of feel stuck in the in-between, I suppose. You're looking to make changes, and you're putting in the effort to make changes, and because you can't go back to the way things were, because you felt like it was a soul death in a way. And now that you're cutting out the things, that blockages that stopped you from manifesting something brand new, like a whole new paradigm. Maybe you had to cut away a lot of things that kind of held you back, like possibly even a toxic job, or, you know, a whole lot of things. And now you're kind of in the waiting period. This is kind of like you're not quite at your goal yet. You see the road ahead of you, and you're getting your materials together to kind of start it. And, you know, you had like the initiation by fire so far. And now it's you trying to build things up. And it kind of feels like, you know, you're not quite at the goal. And maybe you have a fear of how things are going to turn out, or maybe unsure of yourself in some ways. Maybe there's some extenuating circumstances that you feel kind of stuck, you know, responsibilities that you feel like that keep you chained into kind of investing into something more that you'd like to. Five of Clubs is conflict, arguing, pettiness. This is competition. Maybe you have some people around you that's kind of, you feel like it's conflict all the time. People that want to have conflict with you in general, that make problems with you. Maybe even talk behind your back, or kind of like use other people to kind of gang up on you, you know? This could be anything like family members, friend-based group, or a toxic work. And maybe you feel chained to this in some ways because these could be even family members. Like you feel like you're sick of the squabbling, but you feel stuck from completely moving, or after the cut, you don't know what you're going to do yet. It's like you made this cut into something brand new because it was an end to something. But it's like now that you made this cut, maybe it could have even been like a job loss or a resident move with no job. Like you feel stuck. You feel stuck, like, what am I going to do now? You know? And then the worry sets in, and then argument sets in around you. Like maybe it is a toxic boss that you're unhappy with, and there's people around that's really being petty and argumentative, and, you know, people that want to set you up and talking crap, and although, like, or even a toxic family, but regardless of whatever the situation, you feel that is a toxic situation. And now that you left one toxic situation, you feel like you're kind of stuck. Or maybe there was a change and you're kind of in this situation still, and you haven't yet left. But what's changed is how much you're able to tolerate it. Maybe this was something that you really liked, or something that you were comfortable with at one point, but something has definitely changed. Like you grew past it, and now you want to manifest something into being, something that will be fulfilling, something that won't make you feel like your soul is dying every day by being stuck, and you want to cut it out. You want to break free from it, but you feel stuck to being able to do so. And you're still stuck in the conflict as of yet, but then internally you're kind of done with it. And you want to change, but maybe there is some responsibilities that you feel obligated to do. Maybe it could be money situation, like you don't have money to move yet, or you can't quite leave that job yet, or you can't move out from that toxic family residence because of money. Second row, Nine of Coins. Whoever you're dealing with could Could be a Virgo, but it's someone who is very nurturing, who has all of the best qualities of all of the queens. She has everything except a partner. Like, this is like a, you know, empathetic, tangibly, like, comfortable. You know, she doesn't have need for anything. Now, whoever you're dealing with, although they're single, they have everything that they need, tangible wise. They could have Capricorn in their chart, but you feel like a toxic pull to this person. This could be like a codependency, like if it is a bad family, like a toxic family situation, you feel bound to it because of monetary situations maybe, or, you know, like you don't have that money to leave. And you feel that you kind of know that. You're trying to make a logical decision. Or whoever you're dealing with can be like, but there's some kind of enmeshment. Like, you feel bound to this situation. You feel stuck. And you feel stuck with this person. And you want to leave the conflict, but, you know, like, you feel bound to it. And this person, whoever you're dealing with, it can be quite controlling. And they hold secrets. Could be dealing with a Pisces with Capricorn in their chart and Libra. Maybe the High Priestess, they notice everything, but they don't share what they know. They don't speak, but they observe everything. You know, they're very learned. They're like the female equivalent of the Hierophant, but instead of religions and structures, this is more spirituality and the occult. And she's someone who's very spiritually gifted, but someone who kind of can be lacking some social skills in a way, can be quite introverted and doesn't speak their mind a lot, but they hold many, many secrets. They have much knowledge, but they don't speak it. So maybe this person is observing you. Maybe there's things like a lack of communication, things that they know. This is even things that they know. And there's a toxic element to this situation. They do have everything that they need. And this is like some kind of toxic draw to it. And somebody is holding secrets. And they're not able to sleep at night. Having trouble sleeping. Anxieties, worrying, grief, nightmares, fears. And a final judgment. A judgment was made. There was an ending to a situation. Possibly you're done with this situation and you're ready to manifest something new, but then you still feel stuck in this situation. Like you feel chained to it somehow. And although you are done mentally, for some reason you can't fully let it go. And it's something that's super karmic. This person does have a lot of this. This could be just a toxic situation. And this is someone who can be really quite controlling. Someone who does hold secrets, doesn't communicate a lot. Maybe you guys aren't communicating any at the moment. And somebody is like having trouble sleeping after a decision was made. Maybe you're not dealing with this person anymore. And now they're kind of grieving, and there is a fight that happened after this conflict. Like you feel stuck. It's like you wanted to change, you wanted to manifest something, and you spoke it. You told them you wanted to change, and maybe you wanted an end of something, maybe you spoke this out, or maybe you didn't even speak it out. It was just you kind of like thinking about it, because it was something that you kept inside of you, but you didn't really communicate it all that much either. The King of Swords, they're big on communication as well, and knowledge, but they have black and white thinking, and sometimes they use communication as like a means of control too, like not speaking when they should, maybe holding things in because they have a fear of losing, like being too vulnerable, or maybe you felt like maybe you have a fear of being too vulnerable, or maybe you didn't communicate things when you should, or maybe things came out quite harsh because maybe there was a blowout and things were said and you said certain things because you were feeling stuck and frustrated, and then a fight broke out. This person now broke away after this fight. Now they're independent and alone, and they're upset. They still feel drawn. They're still thinking about this, and you guys aren't communicating right now because of secrets. This person has a secrets that they're not communicating, that there's something being hidden, and someone's grieving over this ending after this fight. And you communicated that maybe you felt stuck. Maybe you felt like you were being oppressed. Maybe you felt like you couldn't speak because anytime you mentioned any issue, like this person would kind of blow up. It would be a conflict. It would be a fight. So you kind of held it in. Now the situation. Fast movement, fast communication or movement, messages, but I'm thinking like this is an argument. This is impulsive, like these are fast words, aggressive words. And it was a conversation was had. Maybe you were trying to move quickly to work together with someone to, work things out, or to work with someone in general. But it ended up into an argument. And it was like a drawn out argument, like maybe you oppressed yourself so much that when you did finally let it out, you became a lot more harsh than you even intended to be, because you felt oppressed before. And you finally stood up for yourself, and maybe you're a little more expressive than you meant to be. Maybe there was a lot of issues within the situation. And maybe you even spoke to them about it, but it's like they didn't want to hear it. Maybe this person that you were dealing with, like, they kind of ignored the issues. They didn't want to deal with it, or they kind of projected on you all of the issues. And there was just a final draw that things exploded and you were just done with it. It was just too much. Like, you oppressed it so much. They never accepted their part in it. And you kind of blew up. And because you felt like you had to defend yourself. Because you felt like you were being mistreated, you're being taken advantage of. The Nine of Clubs is the wounded warrior. It's like someone who comes back from war, but they're wounded, and now they're overly protective of themselves. And you're putting defenses up because I think you're done, Aries. You don't want to deal with it anymore. It was just too much. And now you're focusing on your money because karma came into play. You know that this new cycle is here, and you were waiting for this new cycle too, because you felt oppressed. You weren't happy with whatever it is, bad job, bad family, whatever. You weren't happy, and you're waiting for that change. Now, this is good fortune coming up. This is a whole new cycle. This is a whole new paradigm within your life, how you do things, you know, the functions of it, the structures of your life, things that you had issue with, but you were just tolerating. Now you cut it out to be able to build something that you really want, something that would actually make you happy and not feel oppressed anymore. Bottom of the deck. 7 of Coins, and you're ready and willing to put the work into something that you feel like is your path, that it's your karma, your dharma actually. Your dharma, this is like your life path. This is what you were meant to do within this incarnation, and you feel like you were given the opportunities and tools to do it. And you try to work with other people before, but then you found out that anytime you try to work with other people, it just became a huge conflict, and it ended up oppressing you and stopping you from doing what you needed. Maybe this person that you were dealing with, it's like, maybe even people around you, it's like they really had themselves to take care of. They had all of what they needed for themselves, but they felt like they had to control you. Maybe some toxic tie, like you're a piece of their supply or something. And maybe they were playing mind games, like undermining you in a way, and gaslighting you and make you second guess yourself from kind of putting anything into yourself. You know, it's like that really bad partner or a bad boss that just tells you you're wrong and you're bad every single day. So you start to question everything, but it's really because they wanted control. And that's the way they did it. They did it by maybe not communicating with you, not wanting to communicate. Maybe every time you did, you know, they just blew up, so they didn't have to address the issue. And they were being quite selfish, keeping everything that they need, and they wanted to keep you around as like use. But then after this arguments happen, maybe the arguments kind of like they couldn't blow it off, he, she, whatever, they couldn't blow it off anymore. Even though like it would have been easier to address the issue, this person isn't about to address any issues because that's how they keep control. Is not communicating in it. That's how they don't accept responsibility for anything, is not communicating. But even though it makes them uncomfortable not to communicate it with it, they feel that that's the way they keep control. And possibly that's the way to keep you stuck. And, you know, and all it did was bring conflict, and they know that. And now there was a judgment. Things blew up so bad, they lost control, and then, you know, it's like a final decision. It's done. And they're regretful about it now. Because you don't want to deal with them anymore. Because you know that's what it is, dealing with them, or business, or family. This is what it is, always, every time. And like, you don't want to deal with it anymore. Now, the situation. There was like communication, there was movement into a new direction, or maybe, you know, it's like there's a lot of fighting, a lot of back and forth, you know, a lot of conflict, a lot of movement towards something new. Actually, this is more like, yeah, maybe this is fast and passionate movement. And the situation was, this is like maybe you moved in together, or you took this job, and, you know, you didn't really know what to expect, but you didn't exactly expect what you got, is really what it was. Because it was like, you try to communicate issues, but it's, you know, and you try to work with them to try to like smooth out issues, and you try to be equitable and fair, and, you know, like, oh, like even ask opinions of the situation and work with them. And you went initially towards it really in a passionate manner because you did have a lot of passion for it. You wanted to work with this person, but it's like there was no communication. There was constant fighting every time you try to fix an issue, like I said. And it became so much that you just blew up and you're done. You don't want to deal with it. Like the ending, it was just too much. Too much stuff that was built up but never spoke about and never addressed and never kind of like never fixed. And that'll make you feel like you're going crazy. That'll start making you feel wounded and sick even. Maybe you have been feeling achy and getting a lot of headaches and body aches, not being able to sleep at night, you know, and it's been really affecting your health. And you feel like you have to start protecting yourself because you're starting to feel drained. And it's like you're taken advantage of. Like, how much more can I really take? It's like every time I try to work with this people be trying to be petty and just trying to compete with you all of the time. And you don't want to compete. That's not the way it is. And now it's like, okay, well, the only way for me to move from this situation is just, you know, not to deal with the situation. The only way for me to improve my situation is not to deal with this situation and start being defensive and start putting work into something that, you know, that could bring you abundance. But it's something that you want to put into work for because it's something that you feel like you're meant to do. Something that you've always felt like drawn to. And you're willing to put the work in. And because you feel like it's the right thing to do. It's something that you want to do because it's something that feels like home to you. Because it's maybe in a ways it was something that you always wanted to do, but didn't quite know it yet. And now that you have your idea, you're wanting to manifest your whole life around it because you know it's the right thing for you because it was meant for you. It's karma. Now there will be work. There could be, you know, down points to it. But I feel like if you put a lot of work into it and you're no longer investing in the things that you don't want, which is your best bet in every regard, then, you know, already you've won half the battle because you only accept the love that you want, right? Or you only accept the treatment that you think you deserve, or you only accept the love that you think that you deserve. And you feel like you don't deserve this treatment, and you wanted to take a logical approach to it. And a logic approach is that you feel unhappy and you feel stuck and you don't want to feel that way anymore because it's just too much conflict. This is advice from the universe that's coming out, but there will be an end to the situation, an end in transformation. And this is you relying on yourself in general, or this is the end of a situation and a transformation and investing in yourself. You have everything that you need, and that's why you're ready to take this chance. You're ready to start on this transfer because already the old you is dead, and you're ready to break and move. You're ready to move forward with passion. Because it's like universe came in and gave you what you needed to be able to make this next evolution. Now, you could have been dealing with a Virgo, but whoever you were dealing with, you know, or you could both were investing initially, or both were putting into this, or whoever maybe you're just trying to manifest something. You're trying to make something, bring something into being. you wanted something in particular and you put in work to be able to get that, but then you found out later that it was toxic, that somebody started being really controlling, that what you started putting work into, maybe a while, for a long time, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years, maybe 5 years with the same company or relationship or living situation, because this could be anything really, but whatever you try to manifest and you try to bring into being, it became toxic. And that's the way it was dealing with this situation. Maybe they took advantage of you a lot, and you try to manifest something, you try to work with this person, and maybe it's just the dynamic of you and the other situation or person or job or whatever together that just ended up really toxic. You know, this is the result of working together in this situation, even though you try to put in work. But it's like maybe you had a toxic boss or lover or family member that just wants to control the situation. And when they come around and say, I want to work with you, it's really because they want to control. Now, you're cutting the situation out. You're thinking logically on the situation, like, what am I really benefiting from this? Is this holding me back? Maybe you're starting to feel that. Am I starting to feel like taken advantage of? And it's like because this person wasn't willing to speak with you or communicate with you, they kept things to themselves. Like, you felt like they were always watching and judging you. Or you could have just been dealing with a Pisces, but they had a secret. And it's like, whatever this secret was, like, maybe you intuitively felt a change, and that's when all of the issues started coming up, and then you felt like, I'm done, it was just too much. And the thing is, it's hard for you to let it go still, because you did invest a lot into it. And now it's like you're having, like, what am I going to do now that this ending had happened, now that this change happened? Like, I'm on my own, and now, like, I have to be defensive and make plans with what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? I'm worried. I feel stuck. You know? But then it's like you lost hope in a lot of ways dealing with this person or boss or lover's control. And you're done, you're fed up, you felt like they pushed you too far, they took advantage too much, like you weren't getting what you deserved, it wasn't equitable. And it's like they constantly try to undermine you and make you feel like, you're incompetent or something. And then you're like, I'm done, I gotta make a judgment call, and I want to be the king to my own destiny. Like, I want to be my own boss and start my own business and invest in myself, because working for somebody, it's like toxic boss or situation after situation. But then you did the right thing in the end. It was meant to happen. You were meant to feel this way. When you're not meant to be in a situation, universe will tend to make things really, really uncomfortable until you move. And I mean, not every single time, but sometimes when you move from your life path, which this was, you'll have these conflicts, these power struggles. You'll start feeling uncomfortable, and things will start getting progressively worse and worse and worse until it forces you to make that choice. Like, some people just grin and bear it and stay at a toxic job for the rest of their life, but that by the time they retire, if they even make it to there, they got all of these health issues like heart problems, chronic pain, anxiety, just constantly being abused but bearing it. But then that you couldn't do it anymore because it was like killing your soul, and you were hearing the call and you knew that you had to do it. Now, advice, the falling tower, advice from the universe. Advice from the universe. Now, first, from advice from universe, there's a quick and sudden ending. It was volatile, fast, and unexpected. This is Mars energy, and it breaks down foundations that were never meant to last. This is universe coming to break it down and break you out of this structure because it wasn't meant to last. And I definitely see it here. Could have Mars, Aries, or Scorpio in their chart, dealing with a Cancer. Because the reason why this ended was because there was secrets being kept and hidden enemies, somebody working against you, maybe, you know, a partner of infidelity possibly, or maybe you found out like you were passed over for something at work, or there was secrets being kept in general, like people trying to sabotage you or speaking bad against you. And this quick and sudden ending was unexpected. And now, and it was like there was issues here the whole time, but they never let you know. They never wanted to work towards it. It was like they were all just judging the situation, and like you try to work it out, the situation, you try to address the issues, and it's like they weren't really meeting you halfway, and there's things that you didn't know about the situation, things that were unknown. Because after this end, maybe it's something that came out after the full moon. And the full moon was like, what, a night or two ago? But this, after this fight, this quick and sudden ending, something made itself known. Right here, this Ace of Swords, it was about a secret that was kept and a realization. Maybe somebody told you something about your partner, or maybe your boss came and told you something about your work, maybe about the abusive, maybe, you know, like you got a pink slip, or, you know, you could have been let go, or maybe you quit a job even, you know, but it could have been really ending. But after this came out, after this ending, because of secrets, the truth came out, possibly about a hidden enemy, and that somebody wasn't really your friend, somebody is not here to work with you, somebody is disingenuous. There's somebody that could say whatever they want just to get what they want, but then there's no dedication here. This is like an inappropriate lover or inappropriate boss. Like, this is someone who doesn't really give a shit about anyone as long as they're getting theirs. And you thought differently until you figured it out, that this, like, there ain't no love in this situation. Somebody doesn't give a shit, and you feel like you're not going to, universe tells you you're not going to get victory in this situation, whatever it is. And that is the realization that somebody that you're dealing with is disingenuous, and they only care about themselves, and you're not going to win in this situation. And maybe there's still things that you don't know about the situation, but it's not here to your benefit. And it never really was, even though you thought differently initially. But whoever you're dealing with is definitely toxic. They hide things. They don't speak what they think or what they plan. And, you know, they're kind of manipulative. There's some toxic element in here. And I can definitely see that. And let's see, I'll give you 2 more. You're going through something, Aries, and I can definitely see that, and I'm sorry. But you know you're following the call, and I think you already feel better about it. To be honest, like, this must feel like, even though you're upset and worried and you feel wounded and abused, it's like you felt like you dropped some weight, even though you know like it was something that you hated and you probably needed it for money or bills or that place to live, or now I gotta move, I don't know, whatever relationship that you felt toxically tied to. Like, you feel better knowing, because now you can make a change into something more fulfilling, and it makes you feel less stuck, because now you know the truth that you deserve better, Aries. But I'll give you 3 more of like something a little upbeat for you to help you with this. Just know this is for the best. Couple more for Aries. Couple more for Aries from the universe. What do you have to say, universe, for Aries for this reading? For Aries. Give me 3 for Aries. Messages from the universe. Alright. When I lean toward love, I am led. In any moment, I could surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. My happiness is my direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe. Have faith within the universe. Try not to be resentful. Know that this was meant to happen, and we all play a part within this incarnation, the part that we're meant to play according to our chart. So try not to be resentful, because in the end, this was your salvation. In any moment, surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. Be okay with the now and comfortable and grateful for the now. Feel free to pray and meditate. When you pray, you speak to God. When you meditate, you listen for Him. And He's always with you. And your happiness is a direct reflection of your level of faith in the universe. Your faith, keep having faith, because you know this is your direction in life. That's what I got for you, Aries. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.